Ethics and law are intrinsically connected. They are not the same by any stretch. But one would have to be a dunce, a fool, to somehow think that one could behave in a despicable, completely immoral fashion and would not have to worry about legal consequences because of some sort of technical interpretation of law. The law tends to be conservative by nature, tends to trail behind ethical consensus as that forms, but it does in some way track our moral notions. So what we see historically tends to be situations in which, as we as a society grow philosophically and morally, our laws are impacted. Occasionally we see the reverse. The law actually precedes the ethics. Courts go out in front, for instance, of the populace, and as the courts decree something, say, find that segregated public schools are unconstitutional, over time perhaps also the ethics or morality changes. What we're talking about in this instance is, in essence, a notion of what's fair or what's right. And while some people say that legal ethics is an oxymoron, a contradiction in terms, I would say that that's not really true. I think we just have impressions sometimes given to us by people who maybe are lower in the totem pole, closer to the least common denominator. The impression we sometimes get, for instance, from watching legal advertisements are that someone demonstrates his legal acumen by showing a bunch of nice books behind him there in the advertisement, shows his knowledge by wearing a dark suit, and his capability and competence by wearing such a suit, and shows that he is in fact a good person by maybe having quite obvious photographs of perhaps family members. And we get a cynical notion that it's all a game, it's all a manipulation. But in fact, there is a strong correlation between philosophy and morals and law. And it behooves us all to do a little bit of reading in this area and thinking about it, because usually if you follow your conscience and do what most people looking at it objectively would say is the right thing, you're probably not going to get in trouble under the law. And conversely, if you do something which most people would look at and say, that's really bad, that's really wrong, there ought to be a law. Well, you know what? Usually there is a law, or there will soon be one to take care of such immoral, inappropriate behavior. Don't be a dunce.